All right. Um, Bear with me for a moment. Gonna give everybody a couple of seconds to get a notification, and then we'll get into the show. I initially planned on starting this stream at like 11:30, something like that. Had to postpone it for maybe like 2 hours, something like that. Yeah, an hour and a half. Um, because what happened was I seen that this dude Jamie was on, right? I was listening to that for a couple minutes, and these some dummies over there. And I was just listening in, and then this one cat, I believe the cat's name was Tony or something like that. The dude heard me mention like polygamy in the chat. It was like, oh, that's not good. That's all bad and stuff like that. I was thinking to myself, it's like, well, hey, look, put your money where your mouth is, right? I'll hop on here and have a conversation. It's funny because when I'm in the comment section, people can run their mouth and talk shit. But then when I go up there on stage, then everybody, humbles down. And I'm not putting myself on any pedestal or nothing like that, but I'm just saying it seems a little strange to me how here it is, people will run their mouths in the comments or on stage when you're in the comments. And then when you hop on stage, then everybody just gets all nice and whatever. And they won't say the same shit they were saying when you were in the comment section. I just find that strange because, I went up there and, the cat was running his mouth for a while. And then when I clicked the link to have a conversation, the dude's as dumb as a damn rock. It's like, the dude's like, "Oh, I don't really know any verses." It's like, okay, well, like, how can let's be fair for a minute, right? Like, I'm not gonna, look, hey, if you don't know the verses, if you don't know the text, that's fine, and I'm not gonna laugh at you, not gonna make fun of you. But what I do find weird though is how are you gonna say so boldly that such and such is a sin, but then when I come on and have a conversation about the topic, you don't even know like one verse that proves your statement. It's like a lot of these dudes are just talking out of their behind, is what it seems like, man. And that's very pathetic. And it's quite bizarre too. It's like you would imagine some of these people that are on like these Christian live streams on the internet that they would have a little bit more smarts to them than the average, peon that goes to church on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Because hell, like these people would be what Christ considers to be lukewarm, right? They're above cold, but they're lukewarm. They're not hot, but they're not cold, right? What does that mean? Hot means you're like on fire for the truth, right? Like those of us in the truth, we're doing everything we can to serve the Lord and spread his message. But the cold are people who just say they believe and then, nothing they do reflects a Christian, godly lifestyle. They just say a couple words and then they live like an average atheist lives. But then a lukewarm person is a person who does believe, but then they might do one or two things for Christ, but then that's really about it. Right. So these Christians on Jamie's panel, those are lukewarm, right? Say they believe, and then they do a little bit more than just a cold Christian. They'll actually like go on stream and have like conversations about the Bible, but then they don't learn anything, right? Like I guarantee you, like if I go back 3 weeks from now and ask the guy about the same topic, the dude, I literally would bet money on this, right? I literally would put money on this that the dude wouldn't even know like one verse that I even brought up to him in our current conversation earlier tonight. Like the dude wouldn't even know one verse out of the 20 I brought up to him. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good example of lukewarm, right? They say they believe they're a little bit, doing a little bit more for Christ than just a regular churchgoer on Sunday does. But at the end of the day, they're nothing special. And that's sad. Like I'll tell you this, right? I've been in the truth for 10 years now. Right? I've been in the truth for 10 years. And I certainly over the course of time, grew and increased from what I was, years ago. Like say for instance, more knowledgeable than what I was 9 years ago, more knowledgeable today than what I was 5 years ago. more knowledgeable today than what it was 3 years ago. Hell, and for hypothetical, 5 years in the future, I'll be more knowledgeable than what I am right now. And it's a shame how some of these people, they'll literally be like lifelong Christians, and half of these dudes can't even quote John 3:16 off the top of the head. It's very bizarre to me. Like I remember I used to go to a Seventh-day Adventist church, right? And they had like a Bible class for like little 5-year-olds and shit. And I went there this one time, like when I was older, I was in like the youth group, right, for like so-called teens. But once or twice I went over to see the little kids room and what they were doing in there, right? So I remember they would teach them, the John 3:16 stuff like that. Like you literally had like little 5-year-olds who could quote that to you. But yeah, over here we got these, grown uh land whale what do I want to call these guys? Keyboard warriors is a good term to use for a lot of these dudes. Or these grown, keyboard warriors that need to go out and touch a little bit of grass once in a while. They'll sit there and they can't even quote John 3:16. But a little 5-year-old can do it. It's you know, it's hilarious to me. It's absolutely hilarious. But this is what you're dealing with. And then you have this other dude. What's this other cat? Haven't seen this guy around lately. I believe his name was G Man. What was it, G Man? Yeah, I believe the cat's name was G Man or something like that. And I'm not talking about that black dude that on YouTube called G Man. I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about this dude who literally, oh, it's J Man. Excuse me, it's J Man. That's what it is. It's J Man. Hell, they get me confused. You have a guy named G Man and a guy named J Man. J Man's the dude I'm talking about. The dude literally has a damn shrimp as his profile picture. Like the dude literally went on Google and took a image of like a tray of shrimp and used that as his like icon picture for when he like goes on streams or leaves comments. It's really bizarre to me. It's like, wait, what the hell? It's like, shit, not only is this dude on here saying in the comments to break God's law, but the dude's literally on there using a sinful, unlawful food as his Christian profile picture. That's bizarre to me. It's very, very bizarre. Hell, like that would be as strange as let's see, what could I use for an example? Like that would be as strange as a Muslim using the Bible as their profile picture instead of the Quran, right? Like that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. Hey, how you doing, Luke? I see Jay down there as well. In a little bit, I might open up the panel, for Jay to hop on if he wants to. But I'm just venting right now, right? I'm just flowing, But in a little bit, I might open it up if someone wants to hop on for like 10 minutes or so. But I don't have a whole lot of time tonight though because my phone's only at under half battery. Should I fully charge it to come out? But I already was on 2 streams before this, so that drains the battery pretty quick, StreamYard does. If you just use the phone regularly without, like, using these apps like StreamYard, the battery on the phone will probably last, like, what, 12 hours or something like that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure, depending on the phone, of course, but usually it'll last, like, 12 hours without, needing to be charged again, but yeah. Luke said, "I'm traveling to the cemetery, so I can't." Yeah, that's cool, man. You don't have to hop on. But you're traveling to the cemetery? Oh, that's cool, man. I over here downtown we have an old cemetery from there's literally people buried in there that are from like the Civil War. So you can go down there and see like tombstones that are from like the 1820s over there. Hell, like we literally have churches down there, like old, wooden churches. I mean, not wooden, stone, right? Stone churches. Like one of them there was, they actually have like a plaque outside of it so you can read some of the history. And this one downtown was actually used as like a hospital for wounded soldiers during the Civil War. So it shows how old that place is. Oh, see. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, man. But hey, it's always good to go pay your relatives a visit, man. It's always a good thing to do once in a while. But yeah, the one I was talking about, I don't know anybody that's, buried there, but it's open to the public to walk through. It's like a historic thing. So I've been through there maybe a dozen times or so throughout the years, right? Yeah, it's interesting to see what's going on down there. Oh, and other thing to mention, as I mentioned downtown, right? We had today there was like a festival going on down there, so they had like certain roads that were blocked off and whatnot, and they were doing something called what was it, a bacon fest was what it's called. Shit, and I've been downtown for like multiple events, but shit, I haven't seen it this packed. I mean, literally, I'd say there were probably 4,000 people that were downtown for this pork fest event, right? This bacon event. It's like shit. It wasn't like this when I went down for the damn beer fest, right? It wasn't like this when I went down for the chicken fest. And I'm not even being sarcastic. I'm being serious. They actually had those events, and there was only half people. But shit, when we're talking about that bacon, literally, we're talking double the amount of people went down there. It was so crowded, people literally had to park under bridges, and walk half a mile, to even get over to where the vendors are at. It's crazy. Luke said they almost got jumped. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. But it shows you, there's a lot of danger going on out here, man. Like, and this is funny. It's like, how the hell could we be in the kingdom if you got to worry about getting jumped, right? You got to worry about somebody, holding you up at gunpoint or knife point and taking your cash. Like that wouldn't happen in Christ's kingdom. So how the hell for these dummy preterists? Like how the hell are we in Christ's kingdom if you literally, gotta watch when you go out somewhere, man? Like I actually like I told this story once before, but down in Florida, this one time we were driving past a what was it, a Hungry Howie's or Little Caesars pizza place, right? And what happened was there's like a group of guys. They were having a conversation with this guy. It looked like there was an argument or something. But as we're driving past, the dude pulls out a damn pistol, and points it at these dudes. These guys were like, "Oh, you got a gun." Guys start running. We look, see what the hell is going on, and the dude pulled out a damn gun on these guys. We were right in front of him. The dude with the gun was like literally 5 feet in front of our car. Now he was blocking the way because he was standing there pointing at him. It's like, oh shit, But then he, went back to his car after the kids that he was fighting with. That they all ran away, which I imagine he didn't bring that out to harm them, but to scare them off because maybe they were trying to rob him or take his car, something like that. I don't know, but yeah. So I've been somewhere before where a gun got pulled, right in front of me. I also downtown, there was a shooting that happened there on the 4th of July, maybe 2 years ago, and there was literally thousands of people down there who were there for a 4th of July, fireworks event, right? So, I was in that area, and just up the block, there was like a gang member that got shot. At the time, I asked the dude, like, what the hell is going on? And I was with, other people at the time, right? But we asked somebody, it's like we saw everybody running. But then I asked the guy that's running, and is like, we're all running because it sounded like there was a gun going off or something. And it's hard to tell because as I said, it's a fireworks show, so you really can't tell the difference between the two, right? But lo and behold, something did really happen. It was on the news later that night. Only one dude got hit, but it was a targeted attack, right? They didn't just go to attack random people. They went after this one dude who was down there, right? But I bring all this up to say, It's like, how the hell could this be the kingdom if you got to watch over your shoulder everywhere you go? Like, literally, if you go to Walmart, man, or any grocery store, you got to watch when you put stuff in your car, man, because I've seen stories out here where, people will follow people home from the store, and rob their groceries, right? Some people, what they'll do is like, say if you park and, take 5 bags in your house, they'll run up and take a bag out the back of your car while you're not watching. Again, that's how desperate some people are getting out here, man. The government, they don't care. They're still pumping, their hundreds of billions for Ukraine. But when it comes to giving American citizens money, best we can do is a couple hundred. Like, anybody remember, what is it, like a month ago now, a little bit over that maybe, about the whole hurricane that devastated. It was Helene, right? Hurricane Helene that devastated, um, you know, what is it, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida. And the survivors over there, when their properties got completely destroyed, all the government gave them for aid was like $750. So you're going to give these American taxpayers $750 to help with the fact they just lost all their homes and their vehicles and whatnot. But you have no problem with giving people that jumped the Mexican border, or people that went up through the Darien Gap. You have no problem giving these people, free housing and a credit card with 10 grand on it or whatever, and that's totally fine, right? We have money to spend on that, but we don't have money to give American taxpayers a few thousand. But again, we do, on the other hand, have, endless supplies of money to keep sending, rockets across the world to go fight for Israel and for the Ukrainians, though. Like, don't forget that fact, right? It doesn't make sense. But you know what I find funny? I was just talking to Joe earlier, and this dumbass, he's like, oh, well, yeah, yeah, government, you can trust them. You can trust government. That's basically what the guy was saying. Now, and he's one of those peon brain dead Christians that says obey your government, right? Like, he'll take what is it, Romans 13, and he'll try to twist it to say, well, obey the government. It's like, well, dumbass, you do realize verse 4 tells you that this is talking about God's ministers, right? You bring it up to him, and that if I could literally see the dude's face, I guarantee you, well, first of all, he'd be looking, cross-eyed, right? He'd be looking like two different directions at one time. And then two, he wouldn't even have a clue what I'm saying, even if it's right in front of him. It's very bizarre to me. But again, these are the Christians we have on YouTube now. Very weird. Jason, how long I'm gonna be live tonight? Um, I'm not sure, man, but I'll drop the link in maybe 10 minutes or so. One other thing to bring up, because Luke brought up about he almost got robbed. One thing I've been looking into is like these safes, right? And like genius ways people came up with to like hide valuables at home or whatever. And there's a lot of good ideas out there. Like, one thing I've seen, they're actually, like, people are selling the product, but you technically could make one at home, is that took like a can of beans, a can of corn, maybe a shaving cream, just some type of can, right? Maybe body spray can. And you can either cut the bottom off or cut the top off, and you can do it in a way to conceal valuables inside of it, right? You try to do it in a way that make doesn't damage the can, right? Like, say for instance, if you have one that has a cap on it, what you can do, take the cap off, and then where it has a spray nozzle, you can cut that off, and you can cut that off, which it might be a little bit a little sharp, but there's ways to file that down. And then just clean out the can, let it dry, and then you can Just stash some cash or coins in there and just put the cap back on. Nobody will know anything's in there. Or some on Amazon that they're selling, which they're expensive. They're like $17. But hey, if you don't got the time to do it or skill, it can pay them and they'll make it for you. And what they do is they have like a twist off bottom, right? But they look exactly real. Like if you put it next to the real product, you can't even tell what one is the safe and what one's the real product. And the answer to why that is, well, clearly what they did, they just took the real one, they just hollowed it out or emptied it out and just put the modification on it. And then there you go. I was thinking, it's like, damn, this is a good idea. Like, imagine getting a corn safe, right? Hell, a corn safe, it might sound weird, but it literally would work, right? You can store like maybe 1,500 in it, 2,000, just put it in the closet and nobody will know that's there. It's an interesting idea. Brother said he gotta go. Yeah, that's cool, man. Brother said one of them wanted to jump on me because I was preaching. Yeah, man. That shows you, man. Hey, the demons were on them, right? They didn't want to hear that word coming out. So that the demons got on them. And it's funny because some of these guys on YouTube, like Elvin, right? He'll be like, "Oh, well, the church is dwelling safely today." How the hell could the church be dwelling safely today? Right? First of all, how the hell could Christians in general be dwelling safe? Like, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Christian persecution on the rise in like most nations in the world? I know, again, it's happening to many different faiths out there, but I'm just saying, like, how the hell could you be dwelling safe if literally in a lot of countries around the world you can get persecuted for being a Christian or a Muslim or, list could go on and on. Okay. Let me see real quick. All right, Jay, I put a link for you. So you can click that, Jay. Just when you click it, make sure you show your camera in the back, just so I can make sure it's not one of these, you know, uh, keyboard warriors trying to, disturb the stream, if you know what I'm talking about. So we'll give him a minute. Damn, it's almost 1:30. It feels like it just turned 1 o'clock like 2 minutes ago. Can't believe I've already been ranting for like 24 minutes nearly. Oh, and by the way, I hope everybody likes the new thumbnail I have for the stream. Funny story behind that. I was watching like an ocean iceberg video the other day, and for each tier down on the iceberg, the guy would like show a different picture on the screen for it, right? And when he got to the ninth one, I was like, oh shit, that one would actually look cool for a image for the video, right? That would actually look pretty cool. So I grabbed that to use as the photo for the stream. And shit, it fits me pretty well. You know, one other thing I was laughing at is like, shit, I can't believe that StreamYard went up to $50. It's like, damn, hell, I'm content with just using my free version. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I can stretch that 20 hours a month. All right, I see you, Jay. I'll let you on. Yo, can you hear me?
Yo, man, can you hear me?
It's a little bit low.
All right, hold on. Let me try something. How about now?
Hold on a sec. All right, say something again.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you.
Is it low or can you hear me loud and clear?
It's decent now. It's decent.
Okay. Hold on. I'll be right back. Let me switch out my headset.
Yeah, that's cool. Take your time. You know, I was actually thinking about getting a new headset today. I was at Five Below, and I actually found this good pair there, but I'm gonna have to go back. Maybe I'll get that tomorrow, something like that. I had to look for a damn speaker with it, like when I play on the Xbox or whatever. I like to I need that to talk to the other people on there. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I find cool ones, but they don't have a damn microphone built in. So I can't get those. But yeah, I might pick that one up I found the other day for $5. Let me see. Hell, Jill's probably still on there ranting right now as I'm sitting here. I was like, shit, after an hour and 40 minutes, it's like, damn, man, I have stuff I got to do. It's like, shit, I can't sit there and talk to Jill all night. I got stuff planned. So hell, that simp is probably still babbling on to himself right now. Oh, man. But I appreciate Jay Gee hosting the stream, though. I always try to stop by Jay Gee's stream. He does pretty decent over there as far as moderation goes. So whenever I can, I try to stop by his stream. So like the other day, he contacted me. I was like, "Yo, man, you want to set up the stream? We'll try to see if we can bring like a free gracer or something on." It's like, "Yeah, okay, cool, man. I don't have much I got to do tonight, so I'll hop on and see how it goes." And literally, I kid you not, it took a damn hour and a half until one person had the balls to click the link. And well, I guess it's ironic I say the balls because it actually was a woman who clicked the link to have a conversation. But you had 15 cats in the comment section talking shit. And then I was like, well, why don't any of y'all click the link and come hop up on here? Like, hey, put your money where your mouth is. You know what I'm saying? And it literally took an hour and a half. It's bizarre. Even that dummy, what's this guy, Ace Feel, right? That universalist, even that dummy was there. What's that guy's apostle? I think the cat's name is Craig or something like that. Right, Greg or Craig. Hell, that's a tongue twister, but his name's something like that. Greg, Keg, something like that. But yeah, that's those dudes are an embarrassment. Okay. Yo,
Hel-
yo, you there?
Yo, can
Yeah,
you hear me now?
yeah. That sounds better, man.
Is it louder?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Oh man, that sucks. I just spent fucking $30, part of my language, on this new headset, but I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you, man. Hell, I need to get a new headset soon.
Hold on, I barely can hear you. Let me try turning this up real quick.
All right, take your time.
Um, say something now.
Yo, yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I'm pretty good on my end.
All right. How you doing, man?
Yeah, same old, man. This is the first time I got to talk to you since the whole situation with Pine, as I call him, Pine Creep. But it's been a while, man.
Yeah, no, it's been about a little over a week now since Pine Creek flagged me down for 8 videos. And what's crazy is when you file copyright strikes against a channel that you're or a video you're trying to take down, you can put multiple videos. There's no limit to how many you could put in a copyright claim. It's not just for one video. You could flag down one or two or three to like 10 videos and one copyright form. He issued two of them, 4 videos each, so in total it was 8. Um, and he could have all put those in one, but he issued two, so it's kind of definitely like I don't know, he's trying to settle a score or trying to like prove something. I don't know. I've only ever talked to the guy once, like 2 years ago. I doubt he even remembers that conversation. But yeah, no, like even all those appeals, they denied them all. But see, what's crazy though is I already told you this and a bunch of other people that the videos that I took from his page, they're not even like his own like creative like edited work. It's like if you put like a screen recorder to like a Donald Trump interview or speech and then like clip that and put it like in a short video section and then that's
Right.
it. It's like 30 seconds of like Kamala Harris or Donald Trump talking. You know how many people have probably
Right.
shared that same clip that same day, but since I took it from his page, like it's already like stolen content regardless, if you want to get technical. But they denied all my appeals and I've been like spamming Twitter all like last week with like multiple accounts to try to get to YouTube, and they finally sent me over somebody from the YouTube team, and then they emailed me like an hour ago saying they'll look into my counter notifications, like my appeals, like since they were denied. I doubt I'll ever get my channel back, but since Doug has legally, I'm gonna say this legally, supplied me with his first and last name. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to look up that name and find information because it's a very unique name. There's only like 5 other people that come up with that name, and he's one of them. He's from Arizona, but that's all I'm gonna say. And I'm sure he has said that on his channel, so it's not like I'm doxing him. But since he's legally provided me with his first and last name, which YouTube makes you do when you file copyright claims, I looked up his like thing, and I've been like checking out his work lately, and he's kind of like really smug. I don't know if you know what that means, but like he's like a douche, and he's always
Yeah.
like belittling Christians and like exposing their doctrines and the Trinity. He's like a diehard atheist. You know that, right?
Right. Right.
All right. Well, I want to. Yo, can you still hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. I still hear you.
Did it cut out?
It did for 5 seconds, but you're good.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna switch over to my screen. I want to read you
Okay.
some. I want to read you something that I found. It may like disconnect, but I'll try to like paraphrase it when I get back to this site.
Okay. That's cool.
All right, yo, I got it. I got it. Okay, check this out. So you know how he's always belittling Christians? He's always like making them look stupid. Well, uh, he's married. He has 2 kids. He's married to a black woman, but she's I think foreign. But nevertheless, he's married to a black woman. And get this, on her Facebook page, she has lots of stuff that pinpoint her being a Christian. I'll read you her bio right now. Hold on.
Don't say the name though, because we don't want to give the
Yeah, no,
account
I'm
information.
definitely not going to say the names because, like, I'm not trying to dox anybody. But since he
Right.
provided me with his legal information from the copyright claim, it's now legal. If you click on any of the videos that he flagged down, if anybody has shared those videos anytime soon before being flagged down, and you go back to those previous links, it will say that this video was removed by, and then it will say the name of the person. It says his first and last name. it's now like public knowledge. I'm sure he has provided it in his channels before too. But since he gave it to me, I'm not going to say it. But if anybody has shared the links that he flagged down those videos of mine, you can still see his name because like YouTube does it like that. Like if I flag down a video from your channel ATT and you go to the link that you may have shared before with somebody and click it, it will say this video was flagged down by so and so, my first and last
Right,
name.
right.
Um, but it says, hold on, let me go back. It says she's an educator and lifelong learner, and she's passionate about Jesus Christ. So his wife is a Christian. I wonder how toxic his relationship is, or yet,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's interesting, man.
yeah, yeah, I've seen this earlier. Like, she got like three posts about like I think like referencing like a Christian background, and then from 2012 she has the thorns and the crown of thorns and then the cross, and then in her bio it says she's passionate about Jesus, Christ.
Right.
So if she's a Christian, how toxic is his marriage, or what does he do since his wife is a Christian? Does he belittle her like he does his audience or people that come on to want to talk about religion or atheism with him? Like, does he do the same stuff he does to like you or Perry or me or like anybody else that tries to join to his wife? That's what I find interesting. I seen this
Yeah,
like
yeah,
an hour
that's
ago.
really interesting, man. Like how the hell could he be an atheist on YouTube, talking shit about all these religions, but yet his wife's a Christian? That does seem pretty odd.
Yeah, like she must bite her tongue around him to not talk anything about God. Or maybe vice versa. Like maybe he doesn't say anything. So that's probably why his like channel is like, all going against like religion. And I wonder what his wife thinks about like the stuff that he talks about and like the way she probably has to hear him from the next room, like talking and like belittling God. And then
Right,
there's clips on YouTube. LOP sent me one earlier where he says that he's better than God. So like
right.
I wonder what his wife thinks about hearing stuff like that. Like, she's probably in the next room or yet the same room. She's probably real quiet about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, man. It definitely seems like a very odd situation that's going on over there. That definitely pretty weird.
Yeah, yeah. Cuz like, not don't be yoked up with the non-believers, equally
Right,
yoked. I forgot the exact the chapter that comes from, but this is that kind of scenario right there. Like, how does his wife correlate being married to an atheist? Like, you know, training up your children in the way that they should go. How does she like do this? Because they got two kids. They got a boy and a girl. They're pretty still young, I'm sure. But like, how does that like family dynamic of one side being non-believer and then the other one being a Christian? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I wonder how that works.
Yeah, man, that definitely seems like a pretty odd situation over there that they have going on. I mean, hell, that's pretty weird. I don't know what the hell else to say other than I really haven't heard anything else about that before. Like it'd be one thing if it was just an atheist that was cool around Christians because I've seen people like that. But it's a whole other thing when this guy's literally like the way he makes money is by going on the internet and talking shit about religious people. You know what I'm saying? So it's a
Yeah,
completely
exactly.
different thing.
And like that like makes me wonder, but it's the concept of him doing that and then the wife being a believer in Christ, and like I wonder how she like her mind thinks like that, like does she just ignore it or does she confront him on it? Do you like that's going to cause like an argument?
Right.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know how to correlate something like that. Like, I got friends that are like agnostic or like atheist or something. Uh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never dealt or seen a situation like this. I've seen like I've seen like married couples, like one maybe like Buddhist and the other one's Christian, or the other one's Christian and then the other one's like Muslim, or the other one's like Christian and then the other one's like maybe like agnostic, and then they probably do like pagan stuff. But like there, it's all like kind of like semi-religious orientated. I've never seen like diehard Christian bashing filled atheist and like religious fundamentalist like semi Christian, wife. Like I've never seen that before.
Right, right. I mean, hell, one thing for sure, man, there's definitely a lot of relationship arguments going on over there, if I had to take a guess.
Yeah, and he's really a douche too. Like if I'm sure I think you talked to him before.
I've never talked to the dude as far as I remember, but I have watched his discussion he did with Perry Green and I think one other dude that I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I've been on his show before, and it was like 2 years ago. I don't remember what the discussion was, but he was really like not he was rude, but he was trying to do it be like rude in a more professional way. But it
Right.
just came off like really smug. I don't know if you know what smug means, but like
Yeah,
pretty
I get
much
what you're
a
saying.
yeah, he's a douche.
Yeah, man, it's pretty weird. Like as you were saying, like how the hell can he strike your content down if literally the video he didn't even own that? Like he took that from another source. You know,
Yeah,
it
and
just
I've
doesn't
been
make sense.
asking YouTube that too, but they don't reply to anything. The only responses I ever get are thank you for contacting us. We'll DM you because I try to get them to DM me because when you type on Twitter, you can't even type out a full message. There's only like 100 character limit, and then like you can't really explain what you need to explain. It's really stupid. Like I
Right.
can't write out like 1,000 words like I would have to. So I try to get them to DM me, but like they only tell me the only way to get your channel back is to ask the guy for a retraction to have him remove the strikes that he put on the videos, and like try to like come to reason with him or appeal them. Well, I've reached out to the guy. I've had another Hebrew Israelite friend of mine reach out to him. I think LOP reached out to him, and then I reached out to him on another email. He hasn't replied to any of them. He just gave me one generic response. He said it wasn't him that took down the videos. It was YouTube. But I'm like, you're the one that issued the strikes. He could have commented like, "Hey, take these down," or like
Right, right.
yeah, but no, he sent 2 strikes for 8 videos. I took 4 videos that were just like I didn't even think he would be able to flag them down because there's probably so many people that have shared Donald Trump or Kamala Harris or Tim Walz speaking in that same time frame of that same interview. There's probably like 1,000 uploads and like 15 hours on YouTube with that same clip. I didn't even think he would be able to find that, but he did, and he flagged him down. And I uploaded 4 videos of his, technically not his, because they're just like him filming like 30 to 40 seconds of just Tim Walz or
Right,
Donald Trump
right.
talking. And then he
Yeah.
flagged him down. I uploaded both like 4 of those twice, so it totaled out to 8. And they all the appeals that I had sent for all of those were denied, and he has not reached back to any of the emails. So in the last couple of days, I found his phone number online and I left him a voicemail. It just went straight to voicemail, but it was the phone number is it's still connected. There's still a voicemail. If you call it, it would probably say that this number is no longer available. But and then I also messaged him twice with a follow up. He never responded to any of those. And then I emailed his wife. She's a school teacher, and that I found out. And I emailed the work email that she has listed, hoping to see a response. And I haven't received anything yet. But they're probably out because they look like a really like wealthy family. So I'm thinking that they took the holidays off and went on like a vacation or something.
Yeah, that could be. We had somebody in the comments, Eric Morrison. He said, "I remember Perry being on the show. He probably streamed some of his job." I mean, I suppose that could be possible. However, though, if you do look at some of his streams, it seems like he has a green screen set up, like a professional setup. So I don't think that he would have that at his job, in my opinion.
Yeah, he probably works from home.
Right.
He's a well, I don't want to say what he is, but what
Yeah.
he has listed as like his career, it says his net worth is 400 to 600,000 every year, like
Man.
as like money. And he's a something analyst. I don't know what it is or how what even that does,
Right.
but he's definitely wealthy, and he makes money off of YouTube because he has ads. So, um, you know,
Right. Right.
he probably, I don't know. I won't hear anything back. I doubt I'll get my channel back, but it's worth trying something, or doing
Right. Right.
something.
It's definitely. Eric said he's an ass. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right
it's
about
definitely an
that,
ass.
man. Yeah, but going into what you said, man, at least though, even if you don't get your page back, at least some of the dedicated followers they were able to subscribe to your backup page. So at least that's a positive thing.
Oh, those are all private right now. I privated the other two pages. I don't want those going down for
Right, I hear
anything
you.
recently until it all probably would die down. I'm probably gonna wait like a month or so.
Right.
But I don't know. I think I'm done with YouTube actually. I don't feel like building out another page
Right,
pretty much.
I understand. Like I remember like back in 2018, I lost one of my pages. I uploaded a video on a popular event, like a hot topic of the day, not going to say which one. But overnight, I got like 600 subs from that video and I got like 35,000 views in less than 24 hours. And something happened where I got the video striked and they terminated the channel. So then I started up again, then I lost another one. So then I started this one, and fortunately I was able to keep this one. But I know how it feels, man. Losing that progress, man. It's definitely not a good feeling. I feel you, man.
Yeah, that was the biggest channel that I've ever had. I was almost at 16,400 something subs, and I was gonna do a like I don't know, like a promotional stream once I hit like 7,000, 17,000. Um,
Right,
but that channel, like the only reason why I rebranded like 3 or 3.5 years ago, because I just used to go by 2 Liter J, and then that page got deleted before it was reinstated like 2 years after being terminated. And the only reason why I rebranded was because I just starting over again. So I'm not starting over again. I'm just I'm probably
right,
done.
right. I hear you. Like I had a buddy of mine, Rock, which people might know him as Rock Upon him. His real name is John. Back in the day, this is before I knew you. He used to have a page that had like what was it, like 8,000 subs on it. That was like the biggest panel we went on to do streams and whatever back in like 2016. But he lost that channel. I'm not sure the whole reason why he didn't tell me, but it was due to some type of strike on something that he got the channel terminated. So hell, I don't know what the hell he's up to these days, but he never came back after he lost that main channel.
Yeah. No, yeah, no, I'm pissed. I just haven't been thinking about it. But when I do, I don't know, I get like really like rage filled.
Right.
Um but yeah, I know I just celebrated a memorial for my dad because this last October 30th is a whole year since he died. And like I tried telling Doug that too. You see, he has like a heart, and
Right.
he hasn't said anything. And then I made a new channel, and I tagged the video where I filmed like at the memorial. I tagged him in it. I don't think he's seen it, but I don't think he's been on YouTube because like there's still comments asking. There's been like 5 people that commented on his channel asking if he can take down the strikes. One of them is me, but like James commented, I think LOP commented, and then like 3 other people I know commented. And now there's like one other person that commented on on his channel on his recent like video, and then the other account's me, and like two of those haven't been deleted in like the last 2 days, but he's been deleting all the comments that are asking if he can, retract the
Right.
copyright strikes he did, and he's been deleting all of them. But I don't think he's been active the last 3 days, because like 3 days ago was like the last time he posted a short.
Well, maybe another idea what you could do, you could have, LOP and some of these guys you had comment. Maybe some of y'all could call in when the next time he does like his open panel he does for people to call in. And if it gets a lot of people that confront him about it, that might be able to get him to retract his strikes. If they call him out like live on the air with, a few hundred people watching.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna do that. That definitely was a plan, but the last stream he did was like a month ago, so I'm gonna have to wait for that.
Yeah, that's odd. Like I don't know why he took a month off because he's getting paid from it. But as you said, he might be like on a vacation for the month or something like that.
Yeah, I think he's wealthy, actually, to be honest with you.
Yeah, from what you said, it certainly sounds like it.
Yeah, like
Mm.
um, he's married. He has 2 kids. I don't know how accurate these listings are on these U.S. phone book websites, where it gives you
Yeah,
the phone numbers, the emails, and like the name. And like again, that's not. I'm not technically. I'm not actually. Well, not even technically. I'm not doing anything illegal, because legally he provided me with his first and last name by issuing those strikes and signing his signature on those strikes as his first and last name. So like I'm not doing anything illegal. He legally gave me his first and last name, and all it does is just take to look that up to see who we are. And then
right,
he has an email that's listed on his on his channel, and then he's gave me another email too as contact. And so, like, all it does is take look up that name and those two emails he has provided YouTube and myself, and you get like public records and stuff. That's not. I'm not doing
right,
anything illegal.
right. I hear
But
what you're saying.
yeah, I'm
But
probably.
yeah, I think just to add on to that, I think YouTube is being biased. Like for hypothetical, if you did like gaming videos, then they probably would have been able to give you a different result. But since we're on here, speaking against, the mainstream view, of course they're going to be biased, towards us.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, man. It's definitely biased. I'm surprised that they finally reached out, because I've been tweeting Team YouTube about this same situation, and then I give them the scenario of what has been going on. I'm like, how can somebody flag a channel for a video that they shared from that channel onto their page, and that person that they shared from can flag them down for sharing their work, but originally the work was shared from CNN or like Fox News or like Donald Trump's own YouTube channel, like like all that is like public. Like if I shared that, they can't remove that from my channel, because that's like um, um, public ownership. It's a news reporting. I don't think people can like flag you down for sharing stuff like that unless it's like a TV show or something. So how
Right.
can Doug do that? He's not like there's like one video that was like edited with subtitles, and sure he could probably flag me down for that one because he edited it, but then the rest are just straight clips of Donald Trump and like Tim Walz talking. Like there's no edited at all. The only thing that was decently probably would could be considered edited is when he started the video and ended it, because like there's no like subtitles, there's no, it'd just be like me talking on your stream and somebody clipping like 50 seconds of it and saying that's their own original work, like, but like if
Right.
I was like a politician, what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and then like say somebody is watching your stream right now, and they clip like 30 to like a minute of you and me talking, put it on their page, and then somebody sees that same clip that they shared and puts it on their page, and then that person that shared it originally from your channel can flag the person that shared it from their channel down for copyright for stealing their own original source material, their own original material, quoting that when it's not even their own work. Like it's like fraudulent, but YouTube
Right,
says it
right.
wasn't.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Definitely is, unfair. And of course, as I said, since we're, speaking about what we talk about, they're going to, of course, be biased towards us when he's clearly in the wrong. Like, say, for instance, if they're going to flag you for using his clips, by logic, they should flag him for using the original clips too, because he doesn't own them.
Yeah, and what about all the other people that have that same clip of that same timestamp in, probably a little bit over about that same time? Can Doug go and flag them now too for using, that? And will those appeals get denied? That's what I would want to know too. But like I said, I made like I have like 7 Twitter accounts. I use only like 3 of them. The rest are like backup ones. I gave one to LOP to use because his got terminated or suspended or something. But on
Right.
like I have like 7 accounts, and then I've had like 2 people also that I know tweet out. So like in total, 10 Twitter accounts have been like not like semi spamming. Like they like there's probably like 6 or 7 tweets a day trying to get Team YouTube's attention, and they finally replied to one of my alts, and then they gave me a an actual person to talk to instead of a bot, and then they had me verify with my email and we'll contact you, and they finally reached out, and it's somebody named Macy from the YouTube team. And they said we're going to look into your counter notification again. We'll reach out to you, and then something something, and then at the bottom of it, it's like for more stuff, go into your creator hub for your channel on your channel and like do this and that. But I replied to them, how can I do that when you terminated me? Like, it's like an auto generated message, but I just wanted to
Right,
clarify that
right.
again.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Hell, YouTube today, like me and you were talking on Discord the other day about, or maybe on the messages or whatever. But yeah, man, YouTube today definitely isn't the same as it used to be. Just hell, a handful of years ago. It's definitely more corrupt and unfair of a platform, today than what it was back then. Like hell, I remember in 2016, you could talk about whatever the hell you wanted on YouTube without, facing any of these censory that we're getting, but unfortunately that's not the case, in 2024.
Yeah, most definitely. What blows my mind though is out of all the stuff that I talk about the Freemasons, I talk about the JEWS, I talk about like Black Jesus and like the Israelites, I talk about the Illuminati and like a bunch of other shit that would probably be deemed like the Yab. I've said so much, and this is what I get terminated for. Like none of that other stuff, but out of the most random, inconsistent like stuff you get terminated for, it's for copyright. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Right,
by
right.
it's by it's like like it's crazy. Like all the stuff that I say, I don't get no community strikes. I got copyright strikes. I didn't like people keep asking me. It's YouTube. Like they don't want it on their platform, but I'm like, because Base Truther asked me. I don't know if you remember him, but
Yeah, I
he's like,
remember
it's
that, dude.
yeah, he said it's probably what you're talking about. They don't want it on there, but I was telling him I didn't get banned for community strikes or like going against like hate speech or anything. I got terminated from some guy issuing copyright strikes. That's the thing. Nothing hateful or like what they would deem as hate speech or like medical misinformation because I got that a couple times, but never like on a like 3 strike shootout
Hell,
basis.
like, to show how unfair it is, like, I got a strike. I'm not gonna mention the word, but I got a strike on a video I did that literally had nothing to do with that topic, but they still labeled it as misinformation. It's like, wait, how the hell could it be misinformation if you literally look up the word that was in the title? It literally has nothing to do with this, medical stuff at all, So again, it shows that they're just biased and being unfair, won't even, listen to what's actually being said. But what is strange though is I look at some of these other dudes on YouTube, like there's a guy I watch that oh, what's this guy? I believe it's the Urban Survivalist or something like that. And the dude has like 80,000 subs. And the dude's literally doing videos on there about, calling out Corolla, stuff like that. His videos are allowed to stay up for months on end without question, but we're not even allowed to mention the word. Like that's pretty weird how they'll be biased towards him, and won't let us do it though. That's pretty strange.
Oh yeah, no, like yeah, I've received like well, on the main channel I got like four, not all back to back. It was like in the span of a couple months. I got like either 4 or 5 videos removed for medical misinformation. But I wasn't even saying anything. One of them was a stream, and I was even like coding words into it, and then they took
Right.
that down for medical information, misinformation. Like I don't know, like 3 years ago, that one was removed. But yeah, I never received community strikes. I was on the verge of being terminated a couple of times because I would receive one, and then I would receive another one. Um, but then I would take all the videos down, and when like one or two of those expired, I put everything back up. So there was like brief periods where like my channel had no videos. But this is new. It's like copyright. It's not even like hate speech or like anything in the community guidelines spectrum. But like I've shared tons of videos, like stuff that I've edited and shared myself, and like I've shared and mirrored a lot of other people's videos. But they're probably because they're from like believers and shit, other than like Robert Seffer. I think I told you about him or
Right.
referenced him, but like even him, he gave me like 7 days to remove his content. This guy, he just did it immediately. And but I've shared a lot of other people's work, and I've never had this same issue. But I think it's because like the spectrum of what both channels are orientated to. Like if I share like let's say like let's say like a call for an uprisings video or like vigilant Christian Mario's video, and they see it and they think, hey, like this is content theft, and then they go look, like, oh, it's like Christian religious orientated, so they don't really
Yo,
care.
real quick, man, whatever happened to Mario? Is he even on any platform anymore?
Yeah, he's under I think it's just Vigilant Mario now.
I know he
But
had a second page that had like 50,000 subs, but he hasn't uploaded on years on there, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I'm not sure. He just went MIA. But
Yeah.
he gave his 500,000 channel to Warriors from Christ, Rich Penkoski.
Right,
You
right.
had him on his channel on your channel like a
Yeah,
year and a half ago.
yeah, you probably don't know this, but my buddy Rock, right, John, he actually knows TVC Mario and they actually did some streams together, maybe like 7 years ago or something like that.
Yeah,
So
Rich told me. Rich
yeah,
did some
yeah.
too.
Yeah, I didn't see a Ridge conversation with Mario, so I can't comment on that. But I know Rock did a couple streams with Mario before. If I'm not mistaken, he had his phone number as well. But yeah, both of those guys are like nowhere to be found anymore. It seems.
Yeah. I think he's on Instagram though, but like his last post was a long time ago.
Right.
But yeah, no, he gave his channel to Rich Penkoski from Warriors from Christ, Sword
Right.
of Truth, like Nemesis, and then he got that channel banned, got it reinstated, and got that 500,000 channel sub channel banned again. So like he's, I don't know how they got it banned so much. It's just like
Is that channel gone again?
yeah, it's gone now,
Oh
and
wow.
he has like 2,000 subs now. Warriors from Christ, and I just don't like he doesn't code anything when he talks. Like he'll say, the SODOMITES. Like he'll say
Right.
that. Like that's a trigger word he'll say like the full on like name for
Yeah.
the
Right. Right.
YAB, the YAB, like he'll say all that.
Yeah.
He has no filter, and he's wondering why he's getting banned.
It's like, man, you gotta think about that a little bit. It's like, some of these dudes just come on the internet and just, talk whatever they want, and then they act surprised when they get these strikes. It's like, dude, you do gotta realize, on this platform, you gotta watch what you're saying, man. And some of these guys just don't learn that. As weird as that sounds.
Yeah, no, they don't. Even MC Nemesis, like I've chatted with him recently through his chat. I haven't joined the stream. I was going to have him on my channel, but I got terminated the next few days. But he's
You
like
know what I
he
find funny? I was looking for random streams like maybe a week ago, and of course, what do you know? The random stream I click on, guess who's on there? This MC Nemesis dude. It's like shit. Anywhere I go, I run into this guy like randomly out of the blue. It's like this guy just sits on his ass all day, and well, first of all, he begs people for donations, but then claims that he's wealthy and has like multiple luxury cars. So I don't know how the hell that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know, but he said the other day that he makes six figures a year off of his music, but like I don't think that's the case. But he was saying that he's not going to conform to what people tell him to refrain from using on their channels, because he's not he said something like he's some kind of like citizen. He has like freedom of speech, but like it's not like people are like telling him not to say stuff. I don't think he
Yo,
can
let me address a
comprehend.
comment real quick somebody put up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Galapagos said, Yo, ETT, I didn't know Raphael was UIC and got beef with GMS. And then he said, saw some random video shut up on my feed, and it was a GMS guy basically telling everyone to stay away from him. Hell, that's news to me, man. I didn't know that the Raphael guy was, ex LUIC. That's news to me. So, hell, I'm just finding that out for the first time, too, man. But go ahead, Jay.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying that MC Nemesis. I don't think he can comprehend people telling him not to say trigger words. I think he's getting that confused with them telling him not to talk about certain stuff. So he thinks
Right.
that they're like shills, but they're just trying not to get their channel terminated by,
Right. So, like, he literally did
not
that to
coding
me. Like,
words.
right, like I have a clear example of that. Like I was on there with the dude telling him, "Hey, look, man, just avoid using certain words just for the sake of this, channel that we're on." The guy's like, "Oh, you're trying to censor my freedom of speech." It's like, "No, dude, it's like you can't see that you got to use censor words on this platform. Like nobody's trying to censor you. It's not that I don't want you to say what you have to say. I'm just saying for the sake of my channel or the sake of whoever's channel we're on, just watch what you're saying." And it's not like we're just limited you to that. We all have to go by that guideline.
Yeah, I don't think he could comprehend that. I think he thinks that people are shills for
Right.
limiting his topics he talks about.
Right, right. It was funny because me and the LOP were talking to this guy once, and he was like, I had said something like, well, the Freemasons, they're, doing all these evil things. And he was like, well, how dare you criticize the Freemasons? My uncle was a Freemason.
No,
you
it's
know,
his, yeah. I've talked to him about this too. It's his wife's dad. His father-in-law is a Freemason. So, but yeah, he got really offended about that. But no, I was trying to because he's a diehard Trump supporter. Like he
oh,
watches
man.
like Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire and like Charlie Kirk and like the Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro and Trump. Like all of them kind of, and Tucker Carlson. Like he's a big Republican.
Right,
But like
right,
I'm trying to tell it because he's really anti-Shemitic towards JEWs, and I was like, well, MC Nemesis, like, are you aware that Trump is in like league with people that are like radical, JEWISH people, and he's like he has no answer for it. Like this profile picture that I have right here sums up like what I'm trying to get at. This was a couple weeks ago. Trump went to this, this synagogue in like honor of like this like rabbi that died in like the 90s, and then like this guy wrote some like really like sick stuff about people that were like what they call the Gentiles, but they have a
Right.
specific word for it. I'm not gonna say, and
Yeah.
like they like and like some of their teachings. You ever heard of the Talmud? Like there's a lot of sick stuff
Yeah.
in there. Like it's
Right.
like the priests can like have like
Yeah. I know what you're
something
saying.
something with like
Right.
6-year-old kids. Like it's really gross, and like
Right.
but like these are like the kind of people that read stuff about that and have like these alternative motives. Like even one of these like reformed or not reformed, these orthodox rabbis, like even their books like the Zohar, I don't know if you ever heard of that, but the Zohar is a magical commentary on the Old Testament. It's if like the Old Testament was in promotion of like Moses being like a magician, like a wizard, and like God and Moses were doing all sorts of magic in the Old Testament.
Right. Right.
It's a witchcraft commentary on the Old Testament, like the Torah and like all the books
Right.
of
I
the
hear what you're
prophets.
saying.
And like, but that's totally against the Mosaic law when they talk about familiar spirits, witchcraft,
Right.
omens. So I
Yeah.
don't see how they correlate stuff like that. But these are the kind of people that talk about this. But for a short stake, I asked MC Nemesis this, and he don't know what I'm talking about. But he doesn't like the JEWs. But he has no answer for Trump being in league with these people. And one of Trump's books, it's called The Way to the Top by Donald Trump, and a section of it he talks about how when he was a kid he had a Kabbalah teacher called Ayin Yardini. You can look that up, that's actually true. And I'm sure you know what the Kabbalah is. It's Jewish
Right.
mysticism, which is also more magic, um, more witchcraft, just to throw that out there. And in the Trump Towers, he has like Kabbalah trees and like Kabbalah mystical, like words and stuff that are in like Hebrew. And so like MC Nemesis had no response to this, and but he doesn't like the JWs, and he's a diehard Republican. But then I asked him another two, what is his thoughts on Donald Trump's pastor Norman Vincent Peale being a very high-ranking Scottish Rite 33rd degree Freemason, and he's also in other societies too. So when the Masons, the Scottish Rite, when they finally reach their highest ranks, they can join other groups now. One of those popular ones is called the Shriners, like the Shriners Hospital for Kids. That's what they
Yeah.
one of their organization businesses they do. But that's what Trump's pastor was. You could look it up too. That's public record. He had no answer for that. But he's still a diehard Trump supporter. And you can throw all these like these relative responses or questions that is reality to people like MC Nemesis, and they have no response to it. Oh, they don't care that Trump's in league with Masons. Like 2.5 months ago, he was endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police. The Fraternal Order of Police are high-ranking Freemasons that are police officers. Their logo is like a black checkered board, white, black, and checkerboard floor, and it
Right.
has FOP, and like there's the Masonic compass on there with like a pentagram, and there's like the Eye of Horus, like on the dollar bill on there, and you got Trump being endorsed by these people, and he's going to their rallies, speaking for the FOP, and like MC Nemesis has no clue. He's blindfolded behind it, and when you present him with this, it just goes one ear and out the other, because I've told him this like 3 different times and he has no clue. He just says that the Freemasons aren't bad, but if you look into the Illuminati, when they were formed by like a group of Freemasons, like the original like Bavarian Illuminati based out of Bavaria. They were all Freemasons. um and Illuminati is like just another Freemason organization that like all of them are like that's like the entry level stuff. It's like Freemasonry.
Right.
But that's basically what I presented to MC Nemesis, and he has no clue of what I'm talking about. And if he understands a little bit of it, he gets real defensive and says, "What are you saying about my father-in-law, my son's grandfather?" I'm like, "Just say your father-in-law." But he gets real defensive and like starts like threatening to like unalive you and like your
Right,
family.
right. Again, he's just emotional and can't control himself. Basically, he's basically a big toddler. Like that's keeping it in simple terms. It's like nobody's talking about your family by just saying that the Freemasons are wicked. You know what I'm saying? But the
Yeah,
dude is
definitely.
so brainwashed you can't figure that out.
Yeah. Um, I don't know if you got to go or anytime soon, but I had another. I tried joining a couple weeks ago, but I had a question to ask you because I've been reading through the Bible again, and I'm finding verses, not verse. I'm finding scripture in the Old Testament. I know you're aware of it, but I'm finding like I've seen these like plenty of times, but I'm kind of looking at them in another limelight
Well,
to like.
tell you what, my battery is running low here, so I was gonna say I had to wrap, but I'll give you 5 more minutes if you got
Okay,
something.
yeah, that's plenty of time. But like I've seen these verses before. Like I know the connotations surrounding them. Like I understand what it's saying, but just like I had a thought, and like these verses kind of pertain to this. But I was going through. I think it's Isaiah again, where it talks about like this Babylon, but like it's a different Babylon where it's going to be destroyed, but like it's in future tense. It's not talking about past Babylon. It's like a future Babylon, like somewhere
Right.
else. And like the satyrs would be there, like dancing in the houses and stuff. Like
Yeah, you
no,
talk
no,
about Isaiah the 13th chapter.
yeah, exactly. And so I was just like summarizing it, but like this clearly is a future tense
Right.
like scenario prophecy, because like if you look at that empire that's located in Babylon now, that government, there's still civilization there, so
Right, right.
that's a
Like,
thing.
yeah, like on that, I'll comment on it because I brought this up many times before on streams or conversations I've done. Like when you read in the Old Testament, there's certain prophecies such as Isaiah 13, or say for instance Isaiah 14, among others, that talk about Babylon. Now, clearly in the context, it's talking about modern day Babylon. It couldn't be talking about ancient Babylon, such as the point you brought up about in Isaiah 13. It said nobody's going to ever dwell there again. But yet, in ancient Babylon, you can literally go pay money and visit that place right now. There's literally people that have shops over there. So, if somebody believes that already happened, is talking about ancient Babylon, but they would have to say either it's not literal or the prophet got something mistaken because there's literally people over there in ancient Babylon.
Yeah,
So
I'm
clearly, when
aware.
you read it, it's talking about modern tense, like as in the one right now
Exactly.
today.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm aware of what you're saying. I'm just I formulated a thought the other day, and I wanted to verify for myself, again. But exactly what you just said, I would agree. But there's other verses that kind of correlate to this thought that I had the other day, because I've been going through like Jeremiah. I forgot the exact verses. I wrote
Yeah,
them all down.
let me comment on that too. Like, I believe it's Jeremiah 50 and 51. That one, what I'll tell you is certain verses in there can be correlating to ancient Babylon, but then some verses certainly have not been fulfilled. So I would say when you read it, they gave some against ancient Babylon and some against modern day Babylon. It would
Yeah,
just
no,
depend on the verse in question.
I was just about to go into that. So I was reading them, and like you could probably see where it would be like past tense, but there's
Right.
clearly stuff that didn't happen in the past tense that it would be referring to in the future. It's like using the past scenarios as like an example to set the stage for a future event. Um, but there's verses in there that refer to these arrows, and also bows. And then there's another passage, but I forgot what it was. I wrote all these down. But then there's the in Revelation, I think it's 9. It also talks about one of the horsemen. They have a bow, an arrow, and like basically to summarize it, to keep it short, the idea that I've thought is that these end time events. It's a post apocalyptic nuclear warfare that it's going to be referring to, like future tense
Yeah,
stuff in
I'll
the
comment
future.
on that. I'm familiar with what you're saying, and most Israelite camps would actually agree that when you read about the arrows, like nearly paraphrase, it says, "Shoot at her, spare no arrows." Right, all the nations
Yeah, I've
gather
seen
around
those
and shoot
as
at her.
nuclear warheads.
Yeah, it's talking about these ICBMs that are stored up around the world. Like, I'll give you another example. Like, when you jump to Revelation 17:16, it says, "The beast shall hate the whore, and God's going to put it into their heart to fight against her." So God's going to put it into their hearts to turn against Babylon. So that will correlate
Right.
back to Jeremiah when he said to shoot upon her. So yeah, in a conclusion on it, Isaiah and Jeremiah, they are in certain instances talking about ancient Babylon, but then certainly in many instances, it's a future prophecy on modern day Babylon, aka the United States.
Right. I'm aware of, like, we've I think I've been on here with, like, we've covered this a lot of different times. I think the last time that I had any input was with, when you had tried and defined on here. But like
Oh yeah.
and like recent events, like this is something that, like, I wasn't even thinking about this, but then
Yo,
it
yo,
popped in
Jay,
my
real
mind.
quick on that, the ITR guys, you know what I find crazy about them? Not only were they trying to say that Babylon was the Vatican, but now the whole new thing they teach, which really this is old now because nobody knows where the hell these guys are today. But what they ended up teaching after that is now they believe the New Testament is fake, so they're Old Testament only Israelites. It's like,
Yeah, I
so
remember
wait,
you
so
telling me
so
that.
by that logic, then how the hell is there even a modern day Babylon if we see Mystery Babylon primarily talked about in the New Testament?
Well, they
So
don't
they
even
just have,
believe in Christ now, though.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
and
thing.
that's a great point. They don't even believe on Christ now because the New Testament's fake. So those guys are, hell, those guys are tried, fried, and laid to the side, as Apostle Gabar said.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, I agree. Yeah, but like going back to that thought though that I had regarding post-apocalyptic warfare being predicted in the Bible as an end-time event. Um, the way that I kind of pictured that though was like I think Isaiah kind of sets the stage of like how that would look, like during the warfare, and like a little bit afterwards, like nothing would grow, like like nothing would like be alive there than like maybe like
Right.
animals and like monsters. And like there's this video game, it's called Metroid 20, I think 2023. And like instead of it being like the United States, it's Russia, but like the civilizations, like the Allies and like Russia and the United States. I think the United States is also destroyed, but like the game takes place in Russia, and like the civilization has collapsed, and we're forced into like subways, like underground. And like there's like this whole thing where like the Russians now have like different factions that lead the world, and like they go above ground, but it's like radioactive and it's like frozen wasteland. And instead of like civilization, like humans living on the surface,
That
it's
reminds
it's
me
just
of
monsters and everything.
yeah, that's interesting. It reminds me when you talked about the frozen wasteland and all that. Have you ever seen this movie called Snowpiercer?
No, but I've heard of
Uh,
it though.
Yeah, what it is, I've seen it. It's actually pretty good. Recommend checking it out. And what it's about is like the last humans left alive after the ice age. There's like a train that they're on, and it basically travels around like the whole world or something like that. And
Oh,
the
I've
only way
seen
they
that
can
actually.
survive, yeah, the only way they can survive is remaining on this train. Like if you go outside, you'll die. Right? Again, good, really good movie, but it reminds me of what you were talking about there.
Yeah, no, I've seen that movie actually. I just didn't know the name of it, but I've heard the name though. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's like I was. It reminded me of that, and I went back to like watch the video, and then when it talked about like the satyrs dwelling in houses. I don't really know what a satyr is, but when I look it up, it's like a demonic like monster figure. Um, and like in the game, there's like mutants and like they're basically like monsters. You go and like
Right.
you'll see like collapse like freeways and houses and stuff in the game, and like if you're on the surface, you got to fight them and stuff. But like nothing there other than like wild beasts are like on the
Yeah,
surface.
it
It's like
reminds me of
nuclear
yeah, it reminds me of
post-apocalyptic stuff.
what was it? Was it Chernobyl? Right in eight what is it? 1986 when that disaster happened over there. You're familiar with that? And
Yeah,
all
I was
that's
about to
dwelling
say
over
that would
there
be.
today. Yeah, all that's over there today is,
Example.
mutated animals among ruins of the apartments and homes that are in that area to this current day.
Yeah, I was gonna get into that too, because that's what I've been using as a current like mind visual as like to what we would probably see as a future tense, like how
Right,
that
I
would
get
look.
you.
There's just like
Right.
overgrown plants and like animals, and like anything that's there is like pretty much a monster. Like it's crazy. Like
Yeah,
everybody
yeah, I hear
died.
you. Yeah, that's I watched probably maybe a few dozen videos on that area over there. It's definitely interesting, what's going on, over in that area. So yeah, it's a good visual as to like what would happen to like these built up places, once people stop dwelling there anymore. It's like hell, some of these sidewalks and buildings, they're being completely overgrown, by the plants and trees and all that type of stuff over there being totally swallowed. Hell, some of the sidewalks aren't even there anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
a good visual as to like what'll happen in these urbanized areas. Once people are no longer dwelling there.
Oh, here's another thing though. Pertaining to like with Russia and Chernobyl. Um, what is it's the verse in Jeremiah. I know I don't know the exact, but it mentions the Medes going against Babylon. If you know what I'm referring to.
Yeah, off the top of the head, I wouldn't know book chapter verse, but I'm familiar with the
Okay.
term in there. Yes.
Yeah, like if anybody wants to look that up, you could probably look that up. It's Medes, the Medes going against like Babylon.
Right.
Basically, like people would think that's like past tense, but if you look into the Medes who are today, it's the Russians. It was formerly the Soviet Union. Like if you want to do like a deep dive in that, you probably figure that out. But that I think that kind of pinpoints a future event where the Medes go against this future Babylon, i.e., like um, this would be the Russians going into war with the United States. Not like the Cold War where they did it like covertly, where they hired like foreign intelligence to like go and assassinate or like go put stuff in space. Like the Cold War in the 80s,
Right.
America versus Soviet Union before the Soviet Union fell in the 90s.
Right.
But this will be like instead of like neighbor factions like rivaling their technology or like foreign influence in the Middle East, instead of like hiring Osama to like go against the Russians or like
Right.
vice versa, they're now going to indirectly do it themselves instead of like hiring people or like doing it like off screen. But it's definitely going to be America now versus Russia, soldiers colliding, like nuclear warfare. That's how I've been seeing this.
Yeah, like a good verse on it. If you read, what is that, Isaiah chapter 9 and 5, I believe it says, "For every battle of the warrior is fought with confused noise and garments roll in blood, but this battle will be fought with burning and with flame of fire." So that's talking about this upcoming war that, just around the corner now.
Right. And
Right.
I
But
think
in the
we're finally
past,
seeing that.
right, right. And it's clear, what's going on. Like hell, like I'll give you an example, right? Like the whole situation over there now, it's almost in a handful of months, it'll be 3 years now. It's like shit. I remember just yesterday, it feels like that, it was just peaceful over there for the most part. But here we are, nearly 3 damn years into that conflict going on over there. Hell, in Israel's situation, it's already been over a year now that
Yeah.
situation's been going on over
October
there.
7th would have been
Right.
when the event started, but I think it was like
Right.
October 21st when Israel started the war
Yeah,
against
yeah, yeah,
Palestine.
they got attacked on the 7th, but then they delayed maybe 2 weeks or so until they, were able to get their army to go up in there.
Yeah. So it's been a whole year now, a little over a year, like by a week. It's crazy.
You know what I find weird though, Jay? Like, how is it we have all these people on the internet that will fight tooth and nail to defend that we're in Christ's kingdom, but literally Israel is at war right now. Like the land where Christ, grew up at and taught, they're at war right now. So it's like how the hell could Christ have returned and we be in his kingdom if over in that land there's all these conflicts and unease going on? It's crazy to me.
Well, he would be there, wouldn't he? Like,
Yeah,
he'd be dwelling
exactly.
in Israel, in
Well,
the
you know
in
what they try to say though,
in
Jay.
the
Like,
land of
like
the
say for
people.
instance, well, here's what they try to say. Like, here's how they get around it. Like, I recently had a discussion maybe 2 weeks ago with this guy. What was this guy? Professing preterist or something like that. He's like one of the hardcore dudes. And they asked him, it's like, well, wait, shouldn't people physically see Christ, like how it says in Revelation that will physically see him? And then he'll tell me, well, it's not like literal, right? You're not literally gonna see him, so it's just like figurative. So it's like, wait, so how the hell is it just figurative? It's like, and then I hit him with Revelation 1:7. It says he comes with clouds and every eye will see him. And then Revelation 6, it says, the rich men and the captains and the free men said to the rocks of the mountains, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne. I was like, wait a second, why the hell is it saying hide us from his face if they can't see him, that he's not physically there? So I mean, these guys are just, they're winging it at this point. They're just making things up as they go along, basically.
Yeah, it seems like it. Like I've looked into preterism before. I didn't know what the name of it was, but I've had a few people like reference it to me
Right.
as like they said that Christ has already returned. But I looked it up, and like it's kind of like I could kind of see where they're coming at, but like there's still like the questions that would dwell on you, like why is the world so messed up, or like why can we not see Christ, or like where is he at, like what is these questions that I have, and like why aren't they answered? If Christ is already here, a return. You
Right,
know,
exactly. And really, they have no hope at this point. Like, hell, according to them, we're already in the eternity, so we should just be, you know, um, grateful for what it is because it's not going to get any better. But we're on the other hand telling people that there is a better place coming. So we're at two totally different sides of the spectrum, for lack of better terms.
yeah, well, I would agree. Um, yeah, it's just another interesting the I don't know, theology. I've also had
Right.
people like in the past, like they'll reference like how Paul is a false antichrist apostle, and then like they'll quote some stuff about him, how he told people to turn away from Christ's teachings. But when I
Did you
like
not see
looked
my
into it from
recent
my
conversation with Dirty Varmint about that topic?
I've seen something, but I'm not too sure. I've watched like three. Some like you've been on like three other panels, and I've watched like I think those. I'm not sure,
Right.
but I'm just like referring to in the past. Like there was this chick. Her name was like Kathy. But like
Yeah.
they used to say that. Well, they still say that Paul is a, false apostle, and like he told people to go away from Christ's teachings. But like I don't really see him saying that. I think it's more of like clarity as like from a man's perspective, and like then he'll tell people to follow Christ. Like for
Right.
example, like how I'm not saying I agree with Islam, but like how the Prophet Muhammad, like if you look into Islam, he gave the commands of God, but then he also added his own intuition as a man to understand that or like go about it. And then they like even like the Muslims even understood this as the same kind of scenario as Muhammad was going about it. They
Right.
even wrote down his own intuition, and then they call it the hadith. It's the hadith of Muhammad. It's like his like guidelines, or like the way that he conducted himself following what Allah commanded. And I see the same kind of like scenario with Apostle Paul, like he's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I
given his
think.
own intuition.
Right. As far as that, I say that there are certainly a few scenarios where Paul gives his own advice. Like, say, for instance, if you read, what is that, First Corinthians 7, he says, "On this or that I speak as a man, not of God." And then he says, it's good for a man not to touch a woman, but nevertheless to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every wife has her own husband. But if you
Yeah, I would
read that,
agree
he
with
says,
that.
"On this or that, I speak as a man." So in certain aspects, he gives his own opinion on some topics, but he'll make a clarification. So we know if he's talking from God or if he's talking from his own opinion. So yeah, it would be foolish to say that like every word that Paul said was God's word, because he literally said, on this or that I speak as a man, not of God. But again, a lot of Christians, like, hell, if they hear you say that, they'll be, stupid and bring up like Revelation, what talks about not taking away from anything written. But it's like nobody's taking away from it. We're just pointing out the context where Paul literally said, on this or that I speak as a man, not of God. So a lot of people are just inconsistent, it seems.
Yeah, yeah. No, I would agree. Um, I've been watching that guy lately. That one that calls you from that the son from Family Guy. Big Oink Pig Slapper. I've been
Oh,
watching
that
him
dude, what
lately,
the
and
hell's that cat up to?
I really can't comprehend anything he says or what he types. Um, but he's still saying the same stuff. Like that's the most recent thing that I've seen about Paul being an antichrist. Um, oh, and then I was watching this video from this channel called Gabe the Street Preacher. I don't know if you ever watched that one. Um,
Nah.
but he was outside. He's from California too. He's not too far from me. I think he was in San Diego and he's like protesting outside this church that had these pride flags in it.
Right.
They were Methodist, and he was out there, protesting against them, like preaching. And then the pastor came outside to confront him, and then one of the church goers came outside, and the church is a Methodist church, so they believe in the entirety of the New Testament. And so I guess I'm assuming so did the pastor, because he wasn't trying to debate about Paul. But one of the churchgoers came outside and he was like going against Gabe, the street preacher, saying that Paul is a false apostle, but he's going to this church that teaches that Paul is an apostle. So like in that church, like I don't know what they're teaching, but it's definitely all over the place.
Yeah, wait, so let me get it straight. So the church was teaching that Paul was false, or Gabe was?
No, no. Gabe is a Christian. Like he believes supposedly in the entirety of the Bible. The
Right.
church, he was protesting the pride flags that they had put up, and I think they were like promoting abortion.
Oh,
It could be either one. I forget. It was like 2 weeks ago. I was watching it, but if I could find it, I'll show you it. But it's the pastor came outside and he was like trying to like tell um Gabe that like why he has this kind of stuff up and why he promotes it. But one of his churchgoers, like a member of the congregation, came outside trying to debate how Paul's a false apostle against Gabe the
oh,
street
wow.
preacher. But the pastor didn't even have anything to say about it, and he wasn't even referring to Paul. So this guy came outside to call him a Pauline and
Wow.
how he's like antichrist, but like he wasn't even debating about Paul, but like this random churchgoer came outside to
Yeah,
debate about Paul.
that's pretty strange. Like most of what I find funny though, it's
Like
like how the hell could they say
whatever's
that
in that
Paul's.
church, it's all over the place.
Yeah, yeah, but think about how weird this is. Most of these churches won't even touch the Old Testament with a 20-foot pole, So, hell, now some of them are throwing Paul out too. It's like, hell, soon you're going to go to church, and the only thing they're going to read is like the four Gospels, and then that's literally the Bible they have. It's just the four Gospels and everything else, except for Psalms, maybe. But everything else is just, they don't deal with anymore. Like, hell,
Oh,
I
I,
can
I remember
envision
the
that in
name of the
one of these.
video too.
Send me that. I want to check that
And
out later.
it's if anybody's looking this up, I think I know it's called it's Gabe the Street Preacher. Like type that out with no spaces in it, and I think it's called Church gets shut down. But like it's either a Baptist, but I believe it's a Methodist church. But that might be from another video because he goes and protests a bunch of different churches. But like
Right.
whatever that pastor is teaching in that church, whether it's like the abortion or like the liberal stuff, and like I don't know where they're getting how Paul is a false apostle. I don't think the pastor teaches that, but
Right.
or maybe he does. I don't know, but I don't think he did because he didn't really have anything to say about it. But like
Yeah.
the whatever's in there, it's definitely all over the place. And if it got shut down, then that's I wouldn't
Yeah, man. But
see that
yeah,
as a
send me
miracle.
that if you can find that video. I'll check that out, man. But yo, thanks for coming on, man. I do got to wrap this up, but I do thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, yeah, no problem, man. Appreciate it.
All right,
Anytime.
cool.
Shalom.
So, all right, cool. Thanks for stopping by. So, real quick, I'm gonna address just a couple of comments I seen that I didn't get to address. I do thank everybody for stopping by, though. If anybody made it to the end of the stream, go ahead and put hashtag. Let's see. We'll say the light, right? We'll say hashtag light just to give Luke a little shout out there. Let's see. So one comment, Galapagos, that brother's always cool. He put up a comment, said, seems like a civil war is trying to be orchestrated. Due to my local area, people are fighting each other over this election. Laughing my ass off. It's wild. Yeah, I hear you, man. It's crazy out here. Like I've seen literally, people get into fist fights over stickers on people's cars, or like I even seen people go to a extent where what they'll do, like the if you drive by houses out here, they'll have like a Trump or Kamala um sign up in front of the house. I've seen like even a compilation on YouTube of like, people try to steal those. So what somebody thought of doing is, why don't you make an electric one so it like shocks them when they try to pick it off the ground. And there's literally compilations you can watch on YouTube, like multiple videos of these idiots showing up to people's houses and trying to steal the yard sign, and then they get shocked by it because it's electric. It hits them with some electric, nothing that's going to kill them or nothing like that, but just to give them a little scare so they run away, you know what I'm saying. But it's funny and sad that people got to go to the extent to do that just to protect their flag or sign in the yard, you know what I'm saying. It's pathetic too. But yeah, man, it's getting wild out here, as Galapagos said. Who the hell knows what's going to happen at this point? Oh, look at that. It's Jill in the comments. Jill said we touched the Old Testament and the New. Well, hell, I don't know what you're smoking, man. But most of these churches that I've been to and been through growing up, you know, shit, I can't even remember one time where they go into like the Old Testament. Like 90% of the time, it's always about the New Testament, with the one exception of like the Book of Psalms, because that some of these pastors like to just pick a chapter or two verses out of Psalms and give their life story with it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But with the exception of Psalms, they don't really deal with any of the Old Testament. Like a vast majority of these churches out here. Now, it's always about either Psalms or the four Gospels and maybe one of Paul's letters or something like that. And that's really the extent that they go into. It's really weird. Eric said, this world's going downhill fast. Hell yeah, man. This place is going downhill quick. Let's see. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap the stream up with that. So yeah, I'm gonna end the show with that. Thanks for stopping by, everybody.